When I look back at my childhood, I remember trying so hard to fit in. At school, I just wanted to be the person everyone expected me to be. The focused, high-achieving student who always knew what they wanted. But inside, I felt like I was always pretending. I picked subjects because I thought I should, not because I actually enjoyed them. I'd do well in exams, but never stopped to celebrate. I just moved straight on to the next thing, like it was never enough. Everybody thought I was thriving, but what they didn't see was how exhausting it was to keep up that mask, to hide the chaos I felt inside my head. I wanted to be accepted so badly that I forgot who I truly was. I became whoever I thought people wanted me to be. And the more I tried to be that version of myself, the more I lost touch with the real me. When school ended, I thought I was supposed to have it all figured out. But the truth is, I had absolutely no idea. One moment, I wanted to be a doctor. The next, I wanted to study geography. My head was everywhere. I couldn't make decisions. I'd overthink, change my mind, start again. Looking back, I realised that this was a part of my ADHD brain. But at the time, I just thought I was indecisive, flaky, or just not good enough. So I ended up choosing to study psychology at university. I thought maybe if I could understand people, perhaps I could understand myself along the way. Once I got there, I realised I didn't love it. I struggled to focus, to organise my time, to keep up. And I was already battling disordered eating, something I used to cope with the constant anxiety that I yet didn't have words for. Anxiety that, deep down, I now think came from my undiagnosed neurodivergence. I was constantly trying to exist in a world that wasn't built for the way that my brain worked. Over time, my eating disorder got worse, so bad that I had to leave university. I ended up in hospital, first in a psychiatric ward, and then in a specialist eating disorder unit. I was there for a year. A whole year where I couldn't chase grades or achievements. A year where for the first time I was forced to stop. And in that stillness, as painful as it was, I finally started to see myself. Without the pressure of being a high achiever, I had space to think, who am I really? What do I actually want? And for the first time ever, I realised I wanted to use my experiences to help others. People who might be struggling with their own mental health too. So after I got better, I decided to volunteer abroad. It was the first time I truly lived away from home. And being surrounded by new people who didn't already know me, made me see things I hadn't noticed before. The people I lived with would sometimes say things like, "You talk over people sometimes," or "You forget things we've just told you." They'd get frustrated when I'd start something, and then move on to something else before finishing. And it really hurt. Because I wasn't trying to be rude or careless, I just didn't know why my brain worked that way. At home, I think my family just got used to it, but with new people, it became clear I was different. This is when I first started to wonder if something deeper was going on. I spoke to my counsellor, the one I'd seen for my eating disorder, and they mentioned ADHD. At first, I laughed it off. There's no way I could have ADHD, I thought. I wasn't bouncing off the walls. I could sit still. And I did really well at school, but the more I learned, especially about how ADHD shows up in girls and women, the more everything really started to make sense. It wasn't that I wasn't trying hard enough, it's that my brain just worked differently. For years, I'd been masking, holding it all together on the outside, while feeling so overwhelmed on the inside. I started to recognise the signs, the indecisiveness, the racing thoughts that never stopped, the emotional ups and downs, the constant overthinking, the way that I take criticism so personally that it would just feel unbearable, the perfectionism that came from trying to prove myself, the burnout from taking on too much and never knowing when to stop, the time blindness, losing hours without even realising, and the impulsivity, jumping into new ideas of excitement, only to feel so guilty when I couldn't finish them all. That's what ADHD can look like, especially in women. Quiet, invisible, internal, and yet completely life-consuming. Now that I understand myself so much better, I've learned what helps me and what doesn't. I still struggle with focus, organisation and overwhelm, especially in the workplace. There are days where I still say the wrong thing, forget something really important, or get lost in a spiral of overthinking. However, what's changed now is how I respond to these moments. Instead of spiraling into guilt, I'd try and pause and just be curious. What's my brain trying to tell me here? That small shift from judgment to understanding has changed absolutely everything. I've learned to communicate when I'm struggling. Having open conversations with my manager and colleagues has been freeing. It's not about asking for special treatment. It's about working with my brain instead of fighting against it. I've also become more aware of my signals, the little signs that I'm heading towards burnout or overload. For me, that's when decisions start to feel impossible. Or I'm overthinking such tiny things. I've learned to slow down when I notice that, instead of just trying to push through. My family and friends also play a really big part in this too. By being honest with them, they can spot when I'm not doing so well and remind me to step back before I crash. Neurodiversity coaching also helped me reach this point. It's given me space to understand my patterns, name my challenges, and find small adjustments that help me flow and make things flow a bit easier. I forgive myself now. I don't resent my brain for being different. I work with it, not against it. I've learned to rest when I need to ask for help, to celebrate what I do well, creativity, passion, instead of only noticing what I cannot do. ADHD isn't a flaw, it's just another way of being human. And I now know that my story isn't something to be ashamed of. It's something that connects me to others, to every person who's ever felt too much or not enough. If you see yourself in my story, please know you're not broken. You just don't have everything figured out yet. You just need to keep showing up as yourself. Messy, curious, or even real. Because being yourself, fully, unapologetically, is the bravest thing you can do. And that is something truly worth celebrating.